Well, Leafs Nation, you have a playoff team indeed. This team, for the first time in 5 years of me watching the NHL playoffs, I can officially say with a comeback against the Tampa Bay Lightning, showing grit, and even having John Tavares show up, and shockingly, Justin Holl on for the last minute of the game. I think they've officially graduated into a true playoff team. Leafs Nation, Bolts fans, let's talk about it. Hot Garbage Sports fans, you come to this channel for the very best in sports analysis. And I gotta say, one, super ironic the channel is named Hot Garbage Sports, but hey, here we are. Who knew the internet, right? And number two, there's going to be a lot of narratives about the Leafs in this one and the Bolts in this one. And I can say I feel conclusively after 5 games that the Leafs have been in control of all 5 games. Now, Bolts fans, don't leave yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to talk about why. I'm not saying the Leafs are going to win this series. I'm not saying this series is going to Game 7. This is too close to predict. I'm not changing my predictions, any of them from what they initially were. After the first round is done, I'll just take my L on the ones I was wrong with. I'll take the W on the ones I was right with. No big deal. But what do I mean by the Leafs were in control of this entire series? This game really epitomized it for me. There's 2 things going out here, and they are both happening due to the Toronto Maple Leafs themselves. I actually feel this is more about the Leafs than it is the Bolts, and this isn't me pandering to Leafs Nation. This is me being as pragmatic and as real with all of you as I can. I think I've noticed what's been going on with Toronto. Every team needs to get beat up in the playoffs for some period of time. We don't know how long that is. San Jose never got there. Chicago needed to lose a couple times. Crosby lost a couple times before he won a cup. Ovi and the Caps lost a lot. St. Louis. There's always a trend of getting playoff experience, and I think there's a tipping point when you watch as much hockey as I've watched in this playoffs, which is every series all the time. Oh my God, I am so tired. I'm so sleepy. But it's been great hockey. It's been super entertaining. And the Leafs graduated tonight. You could see it. So the story of this series has been when the Leafs score first, and the Leafs score on the power play, they get their swagger, they get their confidence, their shoulders start rolling back, they play their game, they dominate, they control after that. It's very clear. They win races to pucks. They have so much confidence. They physically check, they back check. Soup gets in the game. There's a lot of great things going on. So when the Leafs are able to score and get that confidence and be up, they're so used to winning, especially in the regular season, winning games, that is, that when you have a bunch of all-stars on a team, and I'm telling you this as a coach, guys like Matthews, guys like Marner, guys like Morgan, Rielly, these guys have won at every level they've been at. So they get on a little bit of cruise control, and sometimes they get in a tailspin when they start to lose, and they don't know how to get out of it. So when Tampa Bay, this entire series, gets the lead, the Leafs don't know what to do, and they shut down. It's almost taking a ball and going home, but it's not like a pouty, I don't want to play. It's almost like a child that doesn't know what to do. They're just looking around going, help? Like, how do I get out of this? I've tried everything I always normally try, and I'm not winning. I should be winning. Today, that changed. That conclusively changed for me. Down 2-0. The big changing point for this game, number 1, and I beat him up last video. And I would say 80% of Leafs Nation on these comments agreed with me and went, Coach, your analysis was spot on. And 20% said, you hurt my feelings and there's a lot more problems than Jack. To which I said, wrong. Sorry. Fully disagree with it. But I love the comments and I love the interaction. I just had to stand behind the fact that Campbell's last game, goal 1 and 3, was no good. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the fact that after 2 goals, Campbell decides to stand on his head and make monster saves. And this was my point last video. When a goaltender makes saves that they shouldn't make, the team feeds off it. They feast off of it and they start rallying. Why does he end up making those saves? One really key reason, I think, and Kevin Bieksa called it out. So of course I don't get to look like a genius on this one. Thanks, Kevin. It's not like you played in the NHL. Well, yeah, you did. Okay, he gets it. He's a defenseman. Kevin Bieksa, one of the best. He knows what to do when it comes to talking to goalies. So, of course, Bieksa sees this, but I saw it too. When he goes out and talks to Soup and says, hey, man, I don't know what he said, but I'm going to paraphrase here. I've talked to goalies before. Hey, man, you got this. And it's usually just that simple. You got this. We need you. We got your back. Remember who the hell you are. Let's do this. Just make the next one. And he did. And it was massive. It was a huge, huge save. Then make another one. Then make another one. And the confidence starts rolling. It starts building. It starts building. It starts building. And that first period was just so bad for the Leafs because they started strong. Like in the first couple minutes, they started strong. They get that power play. And on that power play, I remember sitting there just thinking, if they don't score here on this power play, the game is over because Tampa's going to score right after. I could feel it. I knew it. Because this entire series has gone that way. The Leafs score early on the power play because they have the most elite power play in the NHL. The swagger shows up. Everything's fine. Campbell gets confident because his team has a lead. He knows how to play as a goalie with his team having the lead. The Leafs do not know how to play without the lead until today, baby. So after that, Tampa Bay, bang, bang, 2 goals. Spezza calms down Campbell. They come out in the second period, and because Campbell makes those huge saves and they don't go down 3-0, you are one shot away from making this a 2-1 game, and that's exactly what happened. So regardless of the fact that you were outshot 14-4, regardless of the fact that you got outplayed at every instance of the first period, you take away big things. Leadership steps up in a room. You get that first needed goal. And it makes it even bigger that it was John Tavares on the power play. When your captain does something, your goalie and your captain are your team when it comes to the locker room. Matthews, best player. Leader, yes. Marner, leader, yes. But Tavares wearing the C means a lot. Fans, you may write him off and go, man, John Tavares, I don't know what I'm talking about because yeah, he hasn't been very good, but the team needs him. You're not going to win without him. So the fact that he ends up showing up and potting it is huge, absolutely huge. And then it flips. Then you have another one of your leaders in Morgan Rielly. He shows up from who? John Tavares. 5-on-5, and it's 2v2. You're off to the races, but really that second period, my goodness, I have not seen more pressure from a team in the second period. That game, even though it ended 4-3, it easily could have been 6-3 if they would have scored like they should have in that second period. But Vasilevsky does Vasilevsky things and he stands on his head. And there's 2 things you can do going into that locker room between the second and the third. You can pout and cry about the fact that you had the best second period of your lives. You should be tied. You're playing against the champs. The pressure is huge. The pressure is at home. If you go down 3-2, everything's going to suck. They don't. They remain steady Eddie and even Steven, and they're able to come out in the third and keep their swagger, keep their foot on the gas. And foot on the gas, baby, is the way the Leafs got to play. No prevent defense, no freezing them out, no playing scared. All gas, all day, all offense, all scoring. Best defense for the Leafs is puck possession and a good offense. The Leafs execute it, and they get out of there with the win. William Nylander, how do you like him now? What a roller coaster of a player, right? You love him, you hate him, you love him, you hate him. You can see it all over. But the reason he gets $7 million a year is because of instances like this. He's so talented, he can change games alone. He was the best player for the Leafs last game. When Willie gets hot, things go well. Motherfucker, it's Nylander! Nylander! Just see it right. No. And then, of course, at the end, Matthews has to finish it. And what I loved from them is after the McDonagh goal, and what a shot, Bolts fans. My goodness, McDonagh, bingo, bango, what a goal short side. Nobody gave up on Campbell. Nobody gave up on themselves. They still had the confidence. They could have easily gone into the room and quit. They didn't do it. They come out and they're led by Mitch Marner and Auston Matthews, and that's who you need. That's what you need. You need line 1 to step up. Bunting gets in on the assist. When your big guns get out there, there's nothing more the Leafs can say when they go in the room other than, we battled back. We had grit. Matthews, Marner, Bunting showed up. Campbell rebounded and showed up, did what he needed to do, be the top 10 goalie that he can be when he's on. Spezza led the way Spezza needed to lead. Tavares gets the points he needed to get so the monkey can get off his back so his team can celebrate around him. And William Nylander ends up just continuing to be an all-star in the playoffs. Big game Willie. I don't see how the Leafs lose this one. But they may, because it's the Leafs. I mean, that's the easy comment down below, right? It's the Leafs. Of course. What a game, though. Leafs Nation's going to be jacked. Let me know what you think about that analysis down there. And don't forget to smash like, subscribe, join our Discord, Leafs Nation, Bolts fans. Come talk to me during the game. We're chitty-chatting in the chat the whole time. I get back to as many of your comments as you can. And if you appreciate the content that's being put out, why not smash a super thanks or join our group, join the coaches staff by hitting the membership button down below. Look, super thanks and coaches staff, it's a monetization play for the channel. It's your way of saying thank you for all this great content. But if you can't do it, no big deal. Just smash a thumbs up. And the coaches staff membership team is just a way for you to get priority access to interact with Coach Ryan D. That's what we're here to do. It's just a quid pro quo. We will always have and be free content. Everybody will be able to enjoy what's on this channel. But for those of you that are in for what Coach Ryan D is doing, you'll get priority responses to comments. Although I do respond to everybody, you'll get loyalty badges. You can work your way through the coaches staff. Level 1, you're a trainer. Hang out for a little bit long, you can become a scout. Hang out a little longer, you get to join coach. After that, you can be my boss as the general manager, and you can finish it off as the club president. And you also get monthly shout out on videos. And there's even a level where I will make videos for you on any topic in hockey that you want. So we officially have our first member. His name's the Brown Tiger. I love having you. You're always going to have a place in my heart. You're number one, man. Number one member on this channel. So as part of the lower bowl, you end up going ahead and you get a big shout out. So I'm going to shout you out on every video today, Brown Tiger. You get special 4 times this month for being part of this channel. We love having you here, my man. So join up with them. And I think it's about time we get to the goals, because that's what we're here for, isn't it? It's what I do better than anybody else. Steven Stamkos is the best scorer in the Lightning from Palat and Kucherov. You know what? Why do goalies play the puck? I get this question all the time. Just stay in your net, buddy. The goalies playing the puck is part of the breakout. More goals happen because goalies play the puck. Take a look at this. Starts with the goalie playing the puck to Stamkos. Vasilevsky to Stamkos. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the assist, but the Lightning start their way up the ice from here. Stamkos hits it up the line to the red line. We call this a fast break. Toronto does a really good job pinching him off here, but we see what's called the puck support. So this is why puck support is so important. As soon as this hit happens down here, he is able to support the puck and continue into the zone. Kucherov does Kucherov things and beats 2 people 2-on-1. Unfortunately, the Leafs, you have to win this one. You cannot lose 2-on-1 battles. This is why they look so bad in the first. Kuch is able here to actually beat 3 players, and then looky what happens. Because he gets through 3 and is able to poke the puck forward, Tampa Bay is about to do some damage. What's unique is 2 Maple Leafs end up tying it up, and a quick little one-touch here from Palat ends up going through to Stamkos. It's like he has eyes in the back of his head. This is just a filthy, skilled play. And what you see over here is Jack Campbell. He's actually looking in this direction. So he's trying to get around this screen. And because he's peeking his head over here to the left, he's not going to see the fact that Stamkos is actually going to be shooting from his right. That little head peek forces Jack Campbell to have to get reset. And you can see here, take a look at his stance. It's not that he's out of position here. This is what happens when you have to seek your head around to the left and then the puck crossing the Royal Road. You hear me talk about that all the time. It's not just an angle change. It's a head change. So now he's actually got to get back into position and settle for one of the best shooters ever in the NHL. And then what we see from there is he's able to pick, Stamkos being he is able to pick that top left side. There's not much Soup is going to be able to do here. That is filthy. Kucherov wins a 2-on-1. Vasilevsky starts the breakout. Palat with a beauty one-touch. And they beat the Leafs 1-on-2 or 1-on-3 multiple times here. That wasn't a good sign to start the game. That's not the best defensive zone structure, but we know it ends with a happy ending for Leafs Nation. And I just want to show here, because I spend a lot of time on goalies. I don't feel like they get enough attention in the game. Take a look here. It's exactly like I said. Look at the left head tilt as the puck is moving to the right. This is actually a much greater angle change when you look at it from this area. This is why I don't think this is Campbell's fault here. There's not much you can do through the type of screen when it crosses the Royal Road and you're trying to find a puck. The Leafs team defense, these 5 guys here need to win the battle here for their goalie. But it is still quite an extreme angle to get over and stop the shot. And you'll remember that that puck actually ends up going in right there. Power play time here for the Bolts. They end up getting their second one from Victor Hedman. I'm going to walk you through a lot on the penalty kill here. The Bolts are in their typical 1-3-1. The Bolts don't do anything special here, but take advantage of bad pressure by the Leafs. So as the puck's coming up the wall, you're going to see the first Leafs killer put pressure right here on the half wall. And we talk about this on the kill all the time as a coach. When one guy pressures, 3 guys need to pressure. Everybody pressures. It's all go or no go. And by no go, we mean contain. And the right time to pressure is when you see backs and bobbles. So if we go ahead and go a little bit forward here, we'll take a look if there's a back or a bobble scene, and you can see, boom, there's a back. Maybe there's a bit of a bobble. It's hard to see here, but he makes a decision because he sees numbers and he's going to end up pressuring. What does that mean? It means pressure and pressure. Everybody must pressure. It also means revert back down low. Now you're going to send 3. You're going to try to isolate a 3-on-1 and take the puck. In order to win this, though, you have to be faster than your opponent. If you're not faster than your opponent, what the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to do is they're going to be able to get it to the middle of the ice or the top, and they're going to have a free angle change, which is a great chance to score. That puck moves down low, and what happens is exactly what I said. So pressure again. That's good. Mitch Marner actually should have gone harder there. You should have seen Marner close that gap a little bit quicker. Now what you end up seeing is, okay, little more pressure. Marner has chosen to contain here. He's not pressured yet. I don't think that's the right call. He should have pressured. Now what he'll see is a back and a bobble again. So as soon as he sees that back and bobble, these guys are programmed for that. Look, Mitch Marner pressures and now you have 3. So there's 2 backs and bobbles, 3 Leafs. But the problem here is because Mitch didn't pinch in initially, you actually end up with a high wrap and now you're trapped with 3. That little bit of hesitation by Marner waiting for the back and the bobble actually ends up causing this. And Marner is one of the best penalty killers in the NHL. Kills are hard, guys. You're not going to be perfect every time. I'm not ragging on Marner. I'm just saying from a coach's perspective, this is what we'd be breaking down in the room. I'd be saying, Mitchie, you got to go a little bit quicker. I'd be talking over here. I'd say, look, you got to angle down to this wall. It wasn't ideal to walk out to the middle here. There's certain things the Leafs could have done on this pressure situation to avoid the goal. Because those 3 are trapped, it's going to take them a minute here to reset. And like I said, it ends up going to the top. This is a free angle change. So now we're going to call it widening the zone. We're coming from down here all the way wide. We always talk about the Royal Road and widening the zone. This is why power plays and working on the power play, as fun as it is for players, it's very systematic here for coaches. Like there are only so many things that are going to work on it. So you end up moving it over. Nope. Fake it. Take a shot. You have 2 opportunities to shoot here. But what makes Hedman so good is take a look again. Again, we talk about this Royal Road. Look, Hedman has the puck here. Let's go ahead and draw it. Boom. Here's your center ice right down the middle. And Hedman's going to skate over it. You don't have to pass over it. You can skate over it. But players know this. They know this instinctually. So that's why I talk about it a lot. It's very smart. Angle change, puck goes in the back of the net. At this point in time, I think, boy, the Leafs are in a lot of trouble here. That wasn't a great kill. They call it the power kill. They looked slow. They made not great decisions on it. I'm not sure if they're going to bounce back, but if they can, this is going to turn the series. Goal number 1 for the Leafs is actually almost identical to what happened against the Leafs here. So as you see, the Leafs carry it into the zone, and now we see pressure. We always talk about this pressure. They should be sending 2. They should be sending 3. Let's go ahead and send 3. Nope. Bellemare ends up getting down a little bit too low. So he's doing his puck support piece, but at this point he needed to get a little bit more aggressive and be on the other side of the puck, which is actually the offensive side. He needed to identify that he had a partner over here to be able to wing him off, but he doesn't. Because Bellemare takes that angle, what you're going to end up seeing is those 3 Tampa Bay Lightning, just like the 3 Toronto Maple Leafs. They're caught down low now. The Maple Leafs are going to end up widening the zone because that's the standard play on the power play. We cross the Royal Road, and hey, why not get a tip in front and see if you can score? We watch that puck move up to the top and right over to Willie Nylander. We notice that Vasilevsky is not in full position yet, but he's standing nice and tall because he's trying to look over the screen as he moves across his angles. The fundamentally strong Vasilevsky we can still see because of this great screen here in front by Matthews. He's so smart. Look, Vasilevsky is still as tall can be. This is why being 6'5" is huge. He's trying to see over big Auston Matthews. He's unable to get set here. This is why the tip is going to work. Slick Willie lets that shot go, and as that shot goes, you can see Vasilevsky is unable to reposition himself to see it. So you have a royal road, you have a perfect screen, and you have a perfect tip. This is a perfect power play goal. This was an okay penalty kill by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Bellemare might have been able to make a difference if he took a slightly different path. The Morgan Rielly goal here is beautiful. Willie Nylander is carrying the puck in on the far side, but I want you to watch John Tavares. When he ends up cutting across here, we talk about it on the channel all the time. Someone needs to drive the mid lane, the middle of the ice. Morgan Rielly would be a great candidate to drive the mid lane because ideally you want John Tavares moving all the way over here to the top of the circle. But Tavares is so smart, he notices that Rielly's in trouble and he does it anyway. Someone has to drive the mid lane. It doesn't matter who. I love that Tavares takes this on himself. It actually causes the goal. You see this little moment of hesitation. Watch him get hooked down. You might be saying that should be a penalty. Well, the Leafs make him pay anyway. It should have been a penalty. Johnny T sees it. He goes, oh boy, my partner's in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and drive that mid lane. Driving the mid lane pushes the defenseman back. It forces Cernak to end up here taking him. Hedman, very unique for Hedman. Big, strong man like this. This is impressive by Willie Nylander. The fact that he's able to get around the big stick and the big body of Hedman as he cycles himself behind the net. Oh, and don't forget here, for a game that had a whole bunch of cheap penalties called on both sides of the puck, he's still getting gooned. He was tripped back there. He's tripped here. He's cross-checked. No call. But for both teams, Chintzy calls the entire game. John Tavares continues his path to the net. That's the right way. You got to get in the blue paint. And then Johnny T immediately releases. When you end up in trouble like this, the Tampa Bay Lightning are now running around. So you have the puck support, which is good. But now, because you don't have that forward back there to support, the defenseman has to stand up to puck support. And that's going to cause all kinds of problems because Johnny T is left open down below. And Mr. Cross-checked in the back 100 times, Morgan Rielly has now snuck in the back door because these four have to cut off the ice. Defensive side positioning has Victor Hedman on the front post. He's not supposed to be on the back post. You're looking up top. Someone needs to swivel and talk about the fact that there's a guy on the back door. Vasilevsky doesn't have the opportunity to shoulder check because he's got to watch the puck. So you end up with 4 Tampa Bay Lightning here in proper position. But because they end up running around due to the cycle, these 4 guys are going to get burnt. This is why cycles work. They're meant to get defensive players off their game and out of position. As soon as that puck goes down, you see that Cernak makes the wrong directional turn. So now that he turns his back to the play, he's in a bit of trouble. You'll also see that Point's in trouble, and you'll see that you're in trouble here. When you have to do these long turns, even though they're tight turns, you're in a bit of trouble. And now people are realizing that Morgan Rielly's there and things could become a problem. Vasilevsky here has absolutely no chance. Quick little dangle, freezes Hedman, freezes Cernak. My goodness, he's good with the puck. He freezes it off a few times here. He has done 3 or 4 dangles. And guess what? Morgan Rielly, still all alone. That's 2 seconds later. He's still all alone. Nobody's found him. They're just watching the magician in the corner. And for the magician's final act, he finds a wide open Morgan Rielly. He could have hit Morgan Rielly like 10 times on that play. It would have gone in. But John Tavares puts insult to injury there, showing you why he is super elite and worth $11 million. You want to take a lead, call on Willie. But how about Jack Campbell doing his best Vasilevsky impression? Goalies playing the puck. All goalies need to play the puck. Stop yelling at goalies to not play the puck and stay in the net. It causes goals, people. Puck ends up wrapping around the back of the net, and the breakout is on now because of it. Look, 2 defensemen are able to come up the ice because the goalie plays the puck. It is always better to play the puck. Sure, some goals end up going in, but statistically, this is the right go. Toronto stretch passes it down the ice, doing their best Tampa Bay impersonation from the first goal. Beautiful, right on the stick there. Now we have a zone entry. Look at William Nylander work here. Big skating stride from Mr. Willie. This is the proper body position. There is no gliding. This is a man who's going hard to make a 2-on-1. Great skating always gets you in great position. He's ending up taking a pass on his backhand. He opens up. This is a really tough play to be able to open up Mohawk after you get the backhand pass. That's what we call it in hockey. It forces Vasilevsky to make a slight angle change, but Nylander is going to hesitate on this one, and he's just going to go pure snipe show against Vasi. Defenseman ends up laying down. I always hate that. It's not going to help. And it ends up going top right corner. Beautiful, beautiful shot. I love those cross-body goals. Beautiful goal by Willie Nylander and absolutely great play by Jack Campbell. Too bad he can't get an assist on that one. The McDonagh goal is a series of unfortunate events for the Leafs. They're all in proper position here in the zone. One ends up biting the dust. Mitch Marner ends up going down hard. The puck ends up down below. Everybody has to regroup. This is why puck support is so important. Go back to this play before he ends up getting hit. When Mitch Marner is coming up the wall, where's his puck support? Where's his puck support? You need to get within a stick length from Mitch Marner. Both of you can't be leaving the zone. This isn't the key. You don't want to be on the right side of the puck. I know this is Auston Matthews' job, but you need to have as much puck support on Mitch Marner as you can here. You have to identify 1, 2, 3. So now you have to count. We have 4. They send 3, you send 4. This game's all about 2-on-1s. You always need to make odd numbers. And when you take 3 out of the game, you end up with the +1. That's why we call it 2-on-1s. 3-on-2, fancy way to say a 2-on-1. 4-on-3, fancy way to say a 2-on-1. Everything comes down to 2-on-1s as you subtract players 1 for 1. The other thing Marner does here is you'll notice he ends up getting pinched off and he moves the puck backwards. Players never move the puck backwards, ever. Never in a day. Go to the boards, eat it in the boards, wait right here, take the hit. It's coming anyway, and wait for your teammates to come in and help. A backwards pass in your own zone is always a terrible idea. Because of that backwards pass and the lack of puck support, the bad decision by Marner to put it backwards, you can see the puck ends up loose down there, and this is what causes the goal because now there's confusion in the D zone. As soon as there's confusion in the D zone, nobody knows where they're supposed to go, and look at all those looping turns. No stops and starts. You need stops and starts here, but players tend to loop, so they end up picking it up. Marner is still picking himself up from that big hit. You see McDonagh sneaking in. Everybody is still lost from the quagmire of events, and McDonagh just lets an absolute ripper go past Campbell. Do not pass the puck backwards in your own zone. Take the hit, eat it on the wall. Puck support. That's the story of the game there on defense. Story for offense, be Ryan McDonagh with a massive slap shot. Before this game is done, though, one of the best players on the ice tonight, John Tavares, ends up with a one-on-one against Zach Bogosian, and I'm sitting here going, it's a 3-3 tie. Captain has the game on his stick. 1v1, $15 million a year in pay, $11 million cap hit, elite centerman, #1 draft pick, and he is easily beaten in the one-on-one by $1 million Zach Bogosian. Actually, super easy. Barely an inconvenience. He had a great game, but that was a bad one-on-one. He just skated into Bogosian and said, you win. Game on the line here. Game-winning goal. And what do you see? Only Mr. Auston Matthews back-checking like crazy. If Patrice Bergeron wasn't in the game, Auston Matthews would likely be your Selke winner for this year. The guy is unbelievable. I love the hustle he has to get back. Mitch Marner, not so much. I mean, I think you need 3 or 4 more hard strides. Michael Bunting ends up getting caught. But again, take a look at these guys standing up straight. These things got to change. Coaches will point them out, but you never want to be gliding. It doesn't matter if there's a quagmire in the middle here. It's always 5 hard strides and get on the right side of the puck. This guy over here, Mr. Braden Point's actually the best at it in the league. That's where he makes his $9 million a year, is always 5 hard strides one way. The good news is Mr. Matthews is enough man for everybody, ends up taking the puck, and you saw he got himself on the right side of the puck. Good defensive side positioning, got himself behind the Tampa Bay player. Michael Bunting ends up coming back. He boxes out Tampa Bay. Is this interference by the rule book? For sure, but not in a cluster like this. It would never get called in a million years. Matthews uses that game-breaking speed. He's off to the races. And remember, great defense leads to great offense. That's what makes Auston Matthews such a good goal scorer. Look, I get it. He's got a shot. He's got a this. But this year, specifically, he is so special because he plays defense. When you play defense, you're going to give yourself more opportunity to score. What's going to happen here is what we call a pop pass. Pass off pad. Pop. This is a set play worked on over and over and over again by players. You want to shoot off this right side pad. The puck is going to pop out right every single time, and Matthews is going to go over and score. That pop pass works so well because when you have defensemen laying down and no cross ice pass, and you have a goalie like Vasilevsky here, who likely has the entire angle cut down for Mitch Marner, if you hit him in anything in this area, it's just going to be stopped. He's going to glove it, it's going to hit his chest, and it's over. One chance and done. Elite shot by Mitch Marner here. Elite brain play by Mitch Marner here to get the puck over to Matthews. This was done on purpose. This wasn't a rebound. A lucky rebound, I should say. This was all skill. You see the aftermath of that pop pass, and there's nothing a goalie can do about those. Nothing. There's nothing he can do to stop it from hitting his pad. If a shooter can hit that shot, it's going to go in every time. And look at how open that net is. That is why we practice pop passes. That's why they're so deadly. Bam! Everybody go insane. And for Leafs Nation, that pop pass makes your dreams come true with a 3-2 series lead. So many storylines in this from Leafs Nation. Bolts fans, at the end of the day, you have an amazing team. But from what I have seen, when the Leafs play with confidence, the Leafs control the game. When the Leafs' confidence is shattered because the Bolts, they're just a veteran core group. The Bolts aren't worried about being down. The Bolts aren't worried about being up. They are just veteran players that know how to play the game at all situations, at all times. But I think the Leafs right now might just have learned. That was the learning curve they needed. That was the slap into reality they needed. This is what we call playoff hockey. If the Leafs are going to play playoff hockey, which does not mean beat up all of your opponents and goon them, it means play with that type of intensity. Get on the right side of the puck, move your feet, play your game, step on the gas, puck possession, score goals. That's Leafs hockey. I think they control this series. I think they get out of it. The question for Leafs and Leafs Nation, do the Leafs revert back to their old habits next game or at any time in the playoffs if they get down? Or is this now mental fortitude time and it's going to be all gas, all go, all the time? You let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for being here, team.